Hey guys, Artist Creation back again with a brand new Destiny 2 build video, and today we are doing a Revenant Hunter build. Now for this build, you're going to of course need your Stasis Revenant Hunter, and what you need for the weapons for this is a Peace Bond, and these two won't matter too much, but for the Peace Bond you're going to need Headstone. Now Headstone is a new perk this season that was just added, and it's whenever you get a precision final blow, you will generate stasis crystals, and the size of the crystal depending on the tier of the enemy. So red bars, small, yellow bars will be slightly bigger crystal, and so on. And we need that because it's going to synergize really well with our abilities, and we'll have a setup and stuff like that, and I'll explain that as we go. Now Telesto, not that important, but I threw it in there because I'm running particle deconstruction, and I'm running a Reed's Regret with adept big ones for that extra damage, Headstone of course to help out. And then of course I'm running particle deconstruction there too, so that'll all synergize together really well. Now for the subclass, you want to be running Gambler's Dodge. Now this is super important because we're going to need as much melee energy as possible, because you want to be throwing as much shurikens as possible. The Withering Blades are your shurikens, and you get 2 stacks of that, and you can throw those and it bounces up to about 4 targets. Now not every time, you have to have a path to follow to be able to get those 4 targets, but you will get 4 as a maximum. On top of that then, before I get to the grenade, is I'm going to be running a Touch of Winter. Now Touch of Winter is a new stasis aspect that came out, well the last one that came out, and the reason I'm running this is because it increases the grenades. Now the increase I'm getting is that with the dust field you get a stasis crystal at the center point when you throw it, and of course as I said, dust field is our grenade, and it slows targets and freezes them when they're within this AoE effect, and it's like a bubble it creates and it freezes targets within, and it pulls them in slightly, not as much as it used to, but it still does that. And then for a second aspect, you've got Grim Harvest, so defeating slowed or frozen combatants generate stasis shards. Now that's really important for this build as well. Now for the fragments, you want to be running Whisper of Hunger, which is doubled up on the melee energy that you get from picking up stasis shards, and it is a double negative, but it doesn't matter too much because it's only 10 mobility and 10 recovery, so it's not too drastic. Whisper of Rending then for kinetic weapons to increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets, and that's really important because Peace Bond is classified as a kinetic weapon. Then you have your Whisper of Conduction, which is bring stasis shards to you, so you don't have to go get them, and you get an extra resilience and intellect. And then you want to be running Whisper of Shards, and that is because whenever you shatter a crystal, you get increased grenade recharge rate, which works for Peace Bonds. Whenever it creates a Headstone, it works with the crystal that's generated with your dust field, so it all works together in synergy. Now for the armor, you want to be doing double hands-on and a melee wellmaker. Now hands-on is a seasonal mod from the pass, or not the pass but the artifact, and whenever you get a melee kill you will get bonus super energy, which is quite handy because you're going to be throwing shurikens continuously. And then you got your melee wellmaker. Whenever you get a kill with your charged melee, you'll generate stasis wells, so even if you hit up to your 4 targets, you still will only generate the amount of wells that you're able to, and then it's on a slight cooldown, so you can't just spam it and continuously generate your wells. That's the one thing with it. Now the same for elemental ordnance, so whenever you get a kill with your grenade, you will generate wells. Now you'll be thinking, oh dust field, how do I get kills with my grenade? So whenever you pull those targets in or freeze any targets within it and you shoot that center crystal, it'll shatter them and it'll create 2 stasis wells, because I'm running bountiful wells with this build as well, so you're getting your 2 stasis wells that way. And then I'm running a melee kickstart, so whenever you throw your shuriken, it'll give you energy back for when you expend that energy. Exotic wise, it's very simple. It's a double dodge, 6 coyote, nothing too complicated, and that synergizes perfectly with Gambler's Dodge for getting that energy back for your melee. And then we're running another melee wellmaker on that bad boy. And then for this, we're running Explosive Wellmaker and a double Innervation. Now the reason for Innervation is because Gambler's Dodge is already giving me energy back for my melee, and I'm already getting 2 dodges for that as well, and the stasis shards generate my melee, so we need something just that little bit extra for our grenade, so that's why I went for Innervation. And then for Explosive Wellmaker is whenever you shatter a stasis crystal with enough enemies within the radius, it also creates explosive wells. Now it's not continuous, so you could put another melee wellmaker in there if you felt like it, or an ordnance or anything like that, but I think it's quite nice to have that little bit extra wells to pop out whenever you're doing some damage with the stasis. And then of course we're running bountiful wells to bring up the increased amount of wells you get per mod. And then we're running particle deconstruction, so that'll work with the Telesto and it'll work with the Reed's Regret. So that's the setup. So let's get into this last sector and I'll show you how it's done. So what you do is you pop that grenade down, you see it creates that little bad boy, freezes them up, shoot them, get the shatter, and there's your 2 wells. And then, as I said, if you get a precision shot, there's your crystal. It's quite big because of the fact that it was a yellow bar. So I'll show you if I can on these boys over here. Now we'll do. There you go, a smaller crystal. Now you couldn't really see it. Then you throw that down. 4 targets. You got your wells. You got your shards. Pop that down again, and we destroy it. And there you go. There's another 2 wells there, which are plenty of those. Throw that over here before you overshields them. Perfect. And there you go. There's a crystal again. Freeze them because they were very close when it formed. Shoot it, and you're getting all of your abilities back over and over again. And it's just continuous because you're shattering crystals to get grenade energy regen, you're throwing shurikens to get the regen, you dodge to gain that regen. So it's just a continuous regen setup. Now I'm going to pop a super, and we should generate our super quite quickly as we're going. And as you see, there's your wells for the shattering. When there's enough enemies around, it create that explosive wells as well on top of it. Now I'm going to throw this grenade over here and pull them together. I'm going to freeze them up and shoot that. And there you go, explosive wells on top of your ordnance wells. And your melee ones as well. Oh, completely missed him on that one. And there you go, it's your 4 targets. Draw them up inside there. And it's just continuous flow of energy, so you don't have to run anything like Traveler's Chosen or like anything like that. You can just like, it's nice to actually be able to use a weapon to help with your ability regen for once. So I'm hoping in the future we'll be getting more weapons of the other subclass types that like help you regen, other than like demolitionists and stuff like that. It'd be really, really nice to see a complete change up in the weapon archetypes and how they work and synergizes with the subclasses. And we get our reeds out here, and it's because we're on particle, it's going to be very, very strong. We throw that, and I created the crystal down low because it didn't form in the up high. And Peace Bond is quite good because that's 42 in the mag, my one, and it just absolutely decimates. Reload. I see we already have a second super as well, so not exactly the fastest recharge because again you have to keep rebuilding those abilities and stuff. Oh, he regenerated for no reason, but it is very, very quick because again most of this build is built around the fact that you want all of those melees. You want those melee abilities, you want those grenades, you want those dodges, and you just want to be regenerating over and over again. Now I just polish these last few enemies and I'll show you the build just to finish off the video. So I'm going to toss this in here. Should pull them most of them together and throw that. And there's your explosive wells, you have your ordnance, you have everything. It all procced in one. So if you do the combo right, you throw a grenade, you throw your shurikens, and it will detonate everything, including the crystal, and it should sometimes, I'd say within the 60% mark to 70, you'll get explosive wells on top of it as well. So the build is Stasis Revenant, you got your Touch of Winter, Grim Harvest, you got your Dustfield Grenade, your Withering Blade, and your Gambler's Dodge, which is really important. Then you got your Fragments of Whisper of Hunger, you got your Whisper of Rending, Conduction, and Shards. And then for the weapons, of course, the Peace Bond Headstone, Reed's Regret Headstone, and you got your Telesto, which I didn't even use that run, but it's your choice in here. You don't have to use these two, but Peace Bond is essential. And then you got your double hands-on melee Wellmaker, you got your melee Kickstart Elemental Ordnance, you got your melee Wellmaker again, and whatever you want in the rest of those slots, it's up to you. And of course 6 Coyote, you got your double Innervation and Explosive Wellmaker, and you got your Particle Deconstruction and Bountiful Wells. And that's the build. So thank you so much for tuning in, I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I will catch you in the next video.